Hello and welcome to this week's instalment of Geek Lunch Meat. I'm your host Chris, as usual. If you could hit like and subscribe, that would be absolutely fantastic. Picked up more subscribers this week. Things are going great. The more of you, the merrier. So, what's been going on this week? Squid Game. I reviewed it last episode. Check it out if you haven't already. It's the Korean drama, sort of Hunger Game-ish battle royale. People playing games with deadly consequences. On Netflix, and yeah, it's taken the world by storm. Netflix don't usually give out much data on the sort of viewing figures. They're very reticent to do that. They have given some, and basically what they're saying is, I think basically Bridgerton is their biggest hit worldwide at the moment, but Squid Game is on course to absolutely smash it, and quite soon. It's only been out a little while, which is great. That's something as sort of weird as that, and especially obviously foreign programs, subtitled, or if you're watching the dub, to get that much traction worldwide is absolutely fantastic, and it's great to see because it's noticed it's made some stuff start trending again on Netflix. Alice in Borderland, which I watched a while ago. I can't remember if I reviewed on here or not. Which is a similar concept of people playing games, again with deadly consequences, but a much different setup, story. And that's in Tokyo. And then Sweet Home, which is another Korean show. I think it's based on a webcomic, which I think I did review. That is I absolutely loved it. Monsters in a building, like an apartment building. Lots of blood, lots of gore, very comic booky. I hope we get a season two of that. I hope we get a season two of Alice in Borderland. And Squid Game. I wouldn't. It doesn't tie up all the loose ends. There are a few little threads. It's very self-contained. You can just watch it, and that's that. But it has got some threads that could be followed. And I imagine now that it's done so well, worldwide, we may get a second season of that. So yeah, but it's good. Great to see a program like Squid Game, something that's original. It's not based on any property. It's not a comic. It's not a manga. It's not an anime. It is just say a brand new IP. That was written. So yeah, great to see something strange like that, something good and geeky, getting attention worldwide. Wait, what else we had this week? Oh, The Last of Us, the TV show based on the video game, had its first. They just released its first still. I must admit, when I was scrolling down my social media feeds, I sort of almost scrolled past it because I thought it was just a still. I thought it was a shot from the game. They captured the look so well. But yeah, so I mean that's Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey as Joel and Ellie. I am working my way from currently through The Last of Us Part Two, the game, which I'm loving, very similar to the first one, post-apocalyptic. It's people. If you've not played it, people infect. There's a big infection, that fungus infection. You may have seen photos on the internet where fungus gets into ants and they grow these little protrusions. They also come like zombies, and the fungus makes them do whatever it wants to do. Basically, that sort of thing happens to humans. Yeah, absolutely loved it. I mean, the first one was brutal. The second game is even more brutal. Yeah, the show's coming next year. HBO Max, I think it is in the States. So I'm not quite sure what we'll get it on here in the UK. But yeah, and apparently they're spending 10 million an episode, so it's a big budget affair. So yeah, looking forward to that. But yeah, first still released a while ago, still filming that, obviously. The poster for Book of Boba Fett they released, along with the date, December the 29th. They said it was going to be this year. They're leaving it right to the end. So I think you Disney Plus notice they tend to sort of not overlap their big shows. So obviously we've got Hawkeye coming up, which will take us to the end of the year, and then obviously Book of Boba Fett's going to come along, and then sort of take on from there. And usually when you get a poster like that, a trailer's forthcoming, sometimes even on the same day. But I would suspect maybe within the next week or so, we may get a trailer. If not, I think I've reported before, November the 12th is Disney Plus Day, where they're celebrating, I think it's their second birthday, and giving us sneak peeks of what's coming up. So if we haven't had a trailer for Book of Boba Fett by then, that will be the time it does. Obviously, I'll report on that. What else have we had? Oh, we had the trailer dropped for the new trailer for Encanto, Disney's new film. I'll put a link in the description below, as always. This looks very much like Coco and Luca, which we had, which I really enjoyed both those films, actually. Very good. If you've not seen them, check them out. This is a Columbia set film. We've got Diane Guerrero, who from Doom Patrol, and Stephanie Beatrice from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. In a magic house, and there's a family with magical powers, except for there's one girl who hasn't got any magical powers, who has to, save the day. It's not any spoilers. It's all in the trailer. You can probably tell what's coming with it. But yeah, it looks, Disney's got this down, to a T by now. It looks fantastic. I'm sure there'll be some songs in there. So that is kind of, the trailer just says Thanksgiving. Not massively helpful for people outside America, but I think it's November the 26th, I believe, is the release date. I'm assuming it's coming to cinema. Obviously, Disney, Shang-Chi's done so well. 4 weeks #1 in the box office in the States. I suspect that they may do away with their the premiere access thing on Disney Plus, where you pay £20, $30 wherever you are. I suspect this may go straight to cinema. I don't be interested. It doesn't mention anything to do with Disney Plus. So yeah, that is coming out. That is cool. Super Crooks, I mentioned last week, the new Netflix anime series that is based on the Mark Millar comic book. He revealed this week as well. It is 13 parts, starts on the 25th of November, and then there's a live action series coming out. Not sure whether this is a prequel to it, or adjacent to it, or whether this is. It seems strange. I can't see that you would do an anime adaptation and then pretty much straight afterwards do a live action adaptation of the same thing. But yeah, 25th of November, that will be hitting on Netflix. What else have we had this week? Oh, Jamila Jamil from The Good Place. Another great show. If you don't watch that. Hilarious. She tweeted this photo of the first time her appearance as, I think it's Tatiana in or Titania, I can't remember which, in the She-Hulk series, which is coming to Disney Plus. I believe she's a villain. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I'm pretty sure she plays a villain. She-Hulk, I think it's going to be based on the comics, where she's a lawyer. The Abomination, we know, is going to be in it. Tim Roth is coming back, played the Abomination, who we first saw in the Incredible Hulk movie. He was the villain there, and then recently turning up in Shang-Chi, where he was fighting Wong in a fight club, and almost was not a villain type. So he was fighting Wong, but afterwards they were chatting, almost like friends. So interesting to see what they've done with that character. So yeah, but yeah, Jamila Jamil, that's how she's going to look in She-Hulk, which we may get next year, because it's obviously filming already. So I reckon maybe towards the end of next year, but we'll keep an eye on that one. And that's about it for the news this week. Some slight Indiana Jones 5 news. Still rumbling along. Frank Marshall, the producer, tweeted, I think maybe because people have been a bit concerned about the production, and he said that Harrison Ford is back and he's filming every day. I don't know how reassuring that is, that you have to actually state that your leading man is actually is on set and is actually making it to filming every day. But I suppose in a day when your actor's approaching 80 in an action role, and with the injury that he had, I suppose it's good to reassure people. But they are all off to Italy shortly, I believe, to do the location work down there. So, what have I watched this week? We had little things: Star Wars, Lego Star Wars, Terrifying Tales, the little animated. It's about 40 minutes, I think it is, for Halloween. Yes, okay. It's typical Star Wars. Lego is always quite funny. All of the Lego stuff they do. It's sort of structured like a Simpsons Treehouse of Horror show. There's like little story inside that someone's telling these stories. The funniest one of which is a parody of Lost Boys. And you've got a Cantina band member, one of the modal nodes, to be really geeky, and he's like the topless, sweaty, greased up sax player from the Lost Boys. He's doing a sax solo in there. It doesn't lean. There's the only thing. It doesn't lean enough into the Lost Boys parody. There's little bits of it. I think the Simpsons would have gone a lot. They tend to just go, yeah, we're going to parody this sort of this horror movie and their ones. I think maybe obviously because this is aimed more at kids, and a lot of a lot of the Lost Boys homage would be lost on them. But for people like me, yeah, there's lots of little bits you can pick up on. But that's quite funny, worth a watch. And Free Guy, I know it's been out for a while, but it just suddenly dropped to Disney Plus with no fanfare. Just yeah, not on their access, not on their Premier Access one, just dropped. So if you've got a Disney Plus subscription, it's there to watch. Ryan Reynolds as a non-player character in a computer game, who becomes aware that that's what he is, and it's great. Say Ryan Reynolds, as I've said, Jodie Comer as the developer outside in the real world who comes into the game and interacts with him. Taika Waititi, my man crush, as the bad guy. He's always good, and the bloke that plays is it Steve, the guy with the great hair from Stranger Things, is in it as well. Yeah, it's great fun, even if you're not a gamer. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of gaming references, but you don't need to be a gamer to enjoy it. Lots of action, great special effects, some great references to Marvel and Star Wars, and that obviously because they own all of the IPs now, can do what they want with them. So there's little gags like that. Yeah, great fun. Say Disney Plus, give that a go. Now, the other thing we're watching this week was Y the Last Man, the show on Disney Plus via FX, based on the comic book by Brian Vaughan and Pierre Guerra. It is okay. It basically, the show is the premise is one day, for reasons not explained, every mammal on planet Earth with a Y chromosome, i.e., every male, just drops dead. Lots of blood hemorrhaging from every orifice, all very messy and gory, and down they go. And that's that, except for one guy called Yorick, who is a sort of budding young escapologist. He's trying to get a career as a magician, and his pet monkey Yorick, who is also male and has also survived. Um, it the comic is quite funny. It's quite fast paced. There's a lot of action. The show is not that. There's been a lot of negative reviews on the net that I've read, and they tend to be a lot from people who've read the comic, and it's not the comic. It's quite slow. There's 4 episodes at the time that I record this currently for you to watch. It follows a similar storyline. So you've got Yorick, he's the last man on Earth with his pet monkey. His mother is a congresswoman who then, via everyone, all the men getting killed and some other women being then killed in various plane crashes and accidents that happen because of this, she soon finds herself as the president of the United States. Yorick's also got a sister called Hero, and then you've got Agent 355, this absolute badass special agent who is now working for the president. All the characters are there. They're in the book. They're on the show. They're not quite doing some of the same things. The book is very much from what I remember. It's from Yorick's he's sort of the main guy. It's from his point of view as he's traveling through a world of no men, trying to find his girlfriend Beth, who was in Australia when all this happened. The show is not that. Beth is in New York with him. And he proposes marriage in the first episode, and she sort of declines and disappears. So it's a bit of a different setup, and the show much more concentrates on the political shenanigans in the White House, and how they're trying to get society up and running with no men. And it brings in obviously the comic I think was sort of the early 2000s, so this has been updated. So you've got a lot of current sort of the whole fake news, post-Trump world, conspiracies, theories, sort of right-wing happenings. There's a lot more of that in it. Some people are complaining about some of the gender politics that's been brought in, but to be honest, they obviously haven't read the comic or don't remember it. I read the first part again, and there's a lot. There is a lot of that in there, as you would expect. You've got women who are happy that all the men have gone. Some radical feminists who are glad they're all gone. There is a lot to do with obviously transsexuals are people that have undergone gender reassignment because obviously they are, they don't have a Y chromosome on a genetic level, and so they're still alive. And there's all things like that it is in the comic. So yeah, it's I'm enjoying the show. It's just it's not what I hoped for. Having read the books, it's enjoyable. It's just very. If you're going to watch it, just be prepared. It's quite slow. So we're only 4 episodes in, so maybe it'll pick up. We have sort of got to Yorick and Agent 355 have started traveling. The guy that plays Yorick, Ben Schnetzer, I think his name is. He's actually very good. Yorick's not this, he's not a tough action guy, typical leading man hero. He's sort of a failing, failing human being. Really, he's not got a great career. He's not, his mother's very successful, and his sister's works for, EMT, working on ambulances and stuff, and everyone's lives are better than his. Ashley Romans plays Agent 355 at the moment. In the comics, she's an absolute badass. They've given her a bit more humanity. She does do stuff that, she does whatever's needed to get the job done. But she's not the sort of unstoppable killing machine that I remember from the comic. They've softened her a bit. Diane Lane plays his mother, who's now the president of the United States, and she's got the dignity and gravitas to pull that off. She's doing a good job. And Olivia Thirlby is his sister Hero, who you may remember was Anderson in the Dread movie, which criminally hasn't been picked up yet for a TV series. I don't know why. It would be. Don't get me started on that. Absolutely, maybe we'll look at that in another episode. But yeah, someone pick up Dread, Netflix, HBO Max, someone like that, whoever, stick it on. That sort of brings me on to it's Why the Last Man. It's on Disney Plus. It's done by FX, and I think we've got a bit spoiled sometimes by the sort of Disney Plus and Netflix shows. They spend a lot of money on them. This is more a bit like the early episodes of Walking Dead. It's it's got quite a high budget for TV, but it's not up there. It's not like a Mandalorian. They're not spending $10 million on every episode. So yeah, it's a bit more reined in. You don't get the epic scope. You don't get to see what's going on in the whole world without men. But yeah, I'd say if you've read the comic, it might be a bit disappointing. If you haven't, give it a go, but don't be surprised after a couple of episodes if you find it a bit slow. It's perfectly reasonable. But yeah, I will persevere with that, and we'll carry on. That's it, I think, for this week. So like and subscribe if you could. That would be absolutely fantastic. Just hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a great deal. So yeah, until next week, take care and eat, geek, and be merry.